Hey everybody, welcome to the Jones Girl Live. I am Kiara Jones Weaver, and welcome back to my page and my channel. And I just finished up an interview with a really good friend of mine. We were talking about our divorce stories and healing after betrayal and divorce. And unfortunately, there was absolutely no sound on that entire interview. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to do that one again, because that was an awesome interview. It was an awesome story, and really a great story of overcoming. But I do want to talk about my personal divorce story. And I've been divorced now for about 3 years, and just not really before now, just not really wanting to villainize or anything like that. But I do think just telling the story is very important, because I think it's important to show, first of all, the amazing grace of God. If there is anybody that is watching this that is actually going through divorce, that's actually dealt with betrayal, had to start over, I think this video will be a good video to watch, and prayerfully it will bring some type of healing and clarity to your situation. And so my husband and I were married, my ex-husband now, we were married for almost 4 years, and everything was good. I mean, we had different stresses, and things. It was a lot of different situations that was going on in the marriage. But I was in a marriage where I never thought, I would always say, my husband loves me. My husband would never cheat on me. He would never do this. He would never do this. He would never lie to me. He would never, and so this was just kind of like my idea about him, and just kind of like how I thought he was, and all of these things. And so I just started to see, just all of a sudden, like just this change and this anger, and just all of these different things would come up, and just not really being able to pinpoint like what's wrong with you. And when I'm a Christian person, so I'm usually looking at things from a spiritual aspect, and I'm just like, oh Lord, my mom used to always say, oh honey, it's the devil loose, and so, but before I knew it, everything was just going downhill. Like everything, there was nothing that I could do. Couldn't talk to him, couldn't say, like he had already formed a whole nother life. I mean, it was just a lot going on. And before I knew it, I'm going through a situation that I never thought that I would be going through, with him, especially, under the, situation where you felt like you heard from God. You thought, this was something that God put together, and, all of this stuff, and just everything, it was prophesied to you, and oh my goodness, and all of these things. And now everything is kind of falling apart. Everything is going apart. And now I'm deciding, okay, I gotta pray, and then I have to talk about, kind of the errors that I made with myself, because I had been, not praying as much, and not, I pray on the way, and, but not the way I knew to pray, and not the way I knew to really hone into the things of God, and really, really listening, because I felt like, even maybe 6-7 months prior to the whole breakdown, I felt like God was pulling me, and like, okay, I need to talk to you. And that's probably what he was gonna tell me. Like, listen, something going on, and something you ain't paying attention, And so I would get little hints here and there, and not really. And I was just like, no, Leonard would never. He would never. Oh, he would never. And it came down to the fact that, yeah, he did. And so I'm finding myself, starting from scratch, dealing with unbelievable shame, rejection, just feeling like the entire world is staring at me. The entire world is talking about me. And truth be told, probably a couple people talking about you, honey, but the whole world don't know you, So I'm sitting here thinking like the whole world, but this is kind of like my perception. And just being so low, and not knowing how I was going to ever get back up. Um, but here I am, years later, and seeing that God has in fact been faithful to me, has kept me, has provided for me, has given me experiences beyond my wildest dreams, allowed me to travel the world, just meet all types of people and just have, just all of these amazing things. But there were, I went through like a process of where all of the pain and the junk and the hurt had to come out, and it was just like a process. And I always felt like I was always angry, and I'm always broken, and but I was like, okay, I came to the realization, and I think this was like a recent realization now that I'm on the other side of healing. I used to cry so much because I didn't want to be angry. I didn't want to be sad. I didn't want to be depressed. I didn't want to be, have unforgiveness in my heart. I wanted to let go. I wanted to let him go. I wanted to let the other woman go. I wanted to let all of that go. And I felt like I wasn't healing. But the truth of the matter was that I was healing. And that healing was just a process. It was one day is one layer. And after God get rid of one layer, then the next day it's another layer. And then the next month it's another layer, and it's another layer. And God is getting down to the root of the matter. And so I'm starting to see things about myself and mistakes that I've made. And just really getting to a place of like really true humility. And like getting low before God. Like, okay, God, I need you to show me what do you want me to do? And so even as God would lead me to pray for my ex-husband, pray for the other woman, pray for all these things, like you have to pray for people. So because I'm like, okay, that's what the words say. Sometimes I was praying, gritting between my teeth, I ain't gonna lie. I'm sitting here like, I won't pray, just pray for that, but okay, God, this is what you say, so this is what I'm gonna do. And so I would do it, faithfully. I would do it. And over time, not realizing it, but one day you look up and then God has pulled out all of the junk, all of the gunk, all of the frustration, all of the anger, and all of the things that you had against somebody. He pulling that up because, his word is just true. And so I don't even know if I don't have the story kind of in sequence because I don't want to tell like all the details because I don't think that that's like really important. But I do just want to focus on just the process of, the healing process, dealing with the fear of having to start everything over again. And I had to start over from scratch. I remember having to go get a job at Macy's, and you going from living in a multi-million-dollar house, and and you got this and you got that, and now you gotta go and you starting over. And so it just taught me so much about just being accountable to my own dreams, and making sure that you're not putting your purpose in the things that you've been called to do on the back burner. Make sure that you're doing the thing that you were sent on earth to do. And because a lot of things that I wanted to do, I put to the back burner, or I suppressed on the inside, and all of that. And so it's like, okay, now that all of that, all of that other stuff is gone, it's like it's just you, and it's you and God, and that's that's what it is. So y'all got to start over and figure out what you're gonna do. But did that, and has met a lot of great people, got a new grasp on what it is that I was born to do, really got heartfelt again about ministry, because I felt really embarrassed to minister. Like I felt like I was unqualified to minister to anyone. I can't encourage anyone. My marriage fell apart, as if that was the only component in my life that made me me, and so I had to change my mind about that when I felt like I was no longer worthy to speak the name of Jesus because I had this huge scarlet letter on my chest. And so I'm the unwanted toy over on the shelf. I'm on the damaged shelf, and so I'm not worthy to speak of Christ, and because now I'm divorced, and all of that craziness. And so I done got over that. I finally got over that.